Well, first of all, you have to clarify what a simp is and what simping is. Being nice isn't simping. To me, I have a very unique description of what simping is. I think it's an unfair exchange of value between a man and a woman, usually coming from a man towards a woman. So giving a woman a bunch of free money, giving a woman a bunch of Instagram likes, giving a woman a bunch of Instagram comments. That is simping if she's not doing it back to you. I mean, you'll see me comment, "You look beautiful," on a girl's Instagram picture, and she'll reply underneath it, "I miss you, Tristan." Yeah. That's not simping. That is a fair exchange of value. Right. Where I'm publicly telling people, I've been there. That's what I'm mine. Yeah. And I get the validation in return. I don't think there's anything wrong if you were just some guy waiting at the entrance to a restaurant for any woman to walk past and holding the door open in the hope of getting some phone number or something. That really is simping. Yeah. But no, it's an exchange of value, and being a gentleman is very, very important. There doesn't have to be a winner. When you're going on a date with a woman and you're looking to sleep with her and she's looking to have a good time, you could both go home happy. Right. You really can. You don't have to feel like you defeated her somehow or you tricked her somehow, and she doesn't need to feel like she used you somehow. Right. You can have a wonderful evening. You're nice to her. You open the car doors. You buy her a bouquet of flowers. You have dinner. You make love. You go home. She's happy. You're happy. Then you can delete her phone number if you want. But
yeehaw.
Doesn't need to be a winner.
But and it's super important that I think that you say that and people hear you say this, because I think a lot of guys think that opening doors, buying dinner, grabbing a flower, and I don't grab a lot of flowers, and I haven't seen you grab a lot of flowers, but dinner, sending an Uber, opening doors, being polite, guiding her to the table, opening a chair, doing those type things. I've seen you do quite a bit, and it doesn't seem to be broken to me, cowboy. So,
well, essentially, do you want her to have a good time and do you want her to like you? I think it's because of the business that I worked in. People assume that, me or my brother are very rude to women or very mean to women, because men can't wrap their head around the fact that there are some men out there who just have beautiful women who want to have sex with them or want to work for them or want to get naked on webcam in their house and make them a bunch of money. Men can't work it out in their mind. So they think I must be doing something mean. I must be tricking them, beating them, getting them addicted to drugs, screaming at them, rude to them. But that's 0% who I am. It's just people who don't understand the frame of being a top tier guy. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with being nice. If you're a fat loser at work and you're buying flowers for all your coworkers and opening doors there, all right, you're simping. Yeah. Unfair exchange of value. Believe me, I get more value by the end of the night than she gets from me, because I get her naked in my bed. Right. I'm perfectly happy to open the door. It's wonderful. Yeah. It's beautiful. I want her to have a good time. Yeah. I want her to want to come home with me.
And I think we'd all agree. I'll open the hell out of some doors for that.
Oh, absolutely.
No problem. No problem. No problem. And the big, strong, tough Andrew Tate. Same way, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why would he not open doors?
And he's absolutely charming. He's nice and he smiles and he'll pick up a tab or whatever. And I think that some guys, a lot of guys actually in the space, have an unhealthy idea of what simping versus being a gentleman is, and the value of taking the masculine role as a gentleman as opposed to looking insecure by not.
I think, they see guys like me or you or Andrew as bad guys because they have nothing to give a woman but loyalty. So they'll look at guys who have multiple women like me and they'll think Tristan's a bad guy. Women like bad guys. And they do. They like top tier guys, and top tier guys tend to like having more than one woman, but women don't like rude guys. There's no universal, I could probably pull it off if I wanted to, but I wouldn't go on a date and not say much, sit on my phone, be rude, walk in front of her, make her split the check, and expect her to come home and make love at the end of the night. No. That certainly is going to hinder my chances, and that's the whole point of going on a date. So it's just a lack of understanding of what it's like to be a top tier male. So anytime anyone says any stupid comment like that to you, oh, the Tates wouldn't open doors, or why are you opening doors, that's simping, that guy doesn't get laid. You know he doesn't.
Oh, no.
And look, he holds doors open, though.
Yeah. What's funny to me is, I already know these things, right?
Yeah.
So if I get a message and somebody's like, well, I thought you hung out with the Tates. Don't you know better? I'm like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so, and that was, to me, I'm like, okay, if me and Tristan are going to do this, let's clarify this. Because I think there's a lot of young guys that haven't really got deep into dating. They might go in with all the wrong impression and blow a girl out immediately when it really wasn't that necessary. So if we're trying to be helpful, I think clearing that up is super important.
Yeah. And another point you touched on that we really should clear up is sending an Uber, paying for a taxi, paying for dinner. That's just the way that gender roles have been for as long as dating has been around.
Right.
When I was young and flat broke, because people will say, oh, you pay for the Ubers, or maybe I'll even get a girl a flight ticket to come to Bucharest, to come to my house and see me. And people will say that's simping. I'm like, well, for the price of the flight ticket, you don't know what I'm getting. Right. But when I was young and broke, there was obviously no gold digging involved. I didn't have, I slept on a mattress on the floor. But if a girl was coming around to see me at night, I'd pay for her taxi. My last 5, 6, 7 pounds, because, it's 7 pounds and I get 8 hours of entertainment. Right. So, again, it's a very fair exchange of value. And I think that if you want to act tough and, hold frame and ask a girl to split a bill or, make a girl pay for her own taxi and don't even offer, if she does go to bed with you, she's a low quality woman. She's just some dickhead hoe who would do anything for dick. Right. And, some guys may get laid that way, but you certainly wouldn't with the quality of women that I hang out with.
I would actually even go as far as say if you ask a girl to split a bill with you, you're actually giving up ground that you could have taken as masculine frame.
Yeah. I would agree. And where I'm from in Eastern Europe, if a girl offers to split the bill, which they don't, but if a girl does offer to split the bill, it means I see you as my friend. This is not a date. Right. So if a woman ever says, hey, can I pay for half the drinks, that means, Tristan, I'm not interested. I only see you as a friend.
It's a defense mechanism, I'd say.
So you're doing it to yourself. Yeah. Oh, we're just friends. That's what you're trying to signal.
You're putting yourself in the friend zone.
By telling her to split the bill with you, which is stupid. It's very stupid. And let's be honest, not a lot of guys go to the places I go. What's splitting the bill? $30, $40? Right. And you're seriously going to try and impress me with this bullshit? I made her split the bill. Yeah, I guarantee you didn't do anything else with her that night.
Right. I know what you didn't split.
Exactly. And if you did, then
you probably ain't worth keeping.
Yeah, you probably just didn't even need to buy her dinner. You probably could have done a McDonald's drive-through and got your dick sucked in the car, and it would have worked just as well.
You could have Netflixed that, homeboy. All right, good. So I think we both agree that being a gentleman in the right frame is really, really important. But I've also seen you be a gentleman when it's time to let a girl go, like out the door. And I think that's super important. And what I like so much about the thought process behind doing that, and when I do that, I've seen you do that, is that if you do it like a gentleman, you kind of live in her dreams a bit. You're kind of FDBing from a place where she can't even be mad at you. Now all she can do is think about how kind you were to her and the gentleman that you were. Can you speak to that at all?
Well, there are two different circumstances you're talking about. One, if she stays the night with you and you're letting her go in the morning. And two, if she's not going to have sex with you and you could tell, and she's not going to spend the night with you, and you say, you know what, let me put you in a taxi, walk her to the car, open the door, let her go. What people need to understand is 90% of the time, or 99% of the time, women have decided whether they're going to have sex with you before the date. They really have.
Whether their legs are shaved.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. So you spoke to her, she finds you charming. She'll think, you know what, there's a possibility I'm going to fuck this guy tonight. She'll put on her best lingerie, like she said, shave your legs, get ready. And if she's got ready, you have a very, very good chance of having sex. But there are some times where I've been talking to a girl for maybe a month, and we have our second date or first date. And I'm like, you know what, this one's in the bag. And it gets to 11 o'clock and she's like, you know what, I'm going to have to get up early tomorrow. I should really get a taxi home. I'm the least pushy man. There's nothing attractive about being pushy because you don't understand her. Maybe she's on her period and she doesn't want to have sex with you. Maybe it's vulgar to a lot of guys listening or you don't want to hear, but maybe she's on her period. It's that time of the month and she thinks, you know what, I'd love to fuck Tristan, but I'm just not going to do that tonight in his house. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be ashamed. Me being pushy is just going to undo the month of hard work that I've done being charming and being nice and being kind because I'm not getting laid. So first circumstance, you don't go home with her. Yeah, always be a gentleman. Right. Don't worry, let me get you a taxi home, because why would you burn the hard work you've done and not bother setting up a second date? But it's not just that. I would just rather be nice.
Right. It's so much easier that way, and it's so much natural that way. And I think if you push it and it's ever unnatural, it doesn't work. Now, on top of that, I'd like to hear more about how you're a gentleman when you actually break up with a woman. Because that's what I'm really getting at behind the question of how you kind of live in her dreams a little bit. Because if you go out like a gentleman, I'm really big on never showing a woman emotion. Yeah, I feel like if you show a woman emotion, that she will look at you in a weaker way.
Yeah.
So I've seen you break up with a girl in person.
You see me break up with a few.
Yeah, one or two. I've seen a couple of Tristan's breakups live. They're not boring. Fireworks are out.
Yeah.
But speaking on being a gentleman, why it's important to be a gentleman on the light side of it, and then the dark side of it when you have to either control a frame, be firm, or just flat out let a girl go. What can you say to that?
Well, most of the time, I'm always running multiple women at the same time. And, I've broken up with main chicks, and they can be messy, complicated situations. But a lot of the time, when I break up with a girl who I've been seeing for a few weeks, a few months, good girls who've been loyal to me, they are my girlfriend. I've got plenty, but they essentially, for all intents and purposes, are my girlfriend. I don't see the reason to burn bridges, 1. 2, to create a negative reputation for myself, especially in the city I live in. 2. 3, to upset people any more than necessary, because if you call a woman every name you want to call her and spit in her face, she's going to forget about you within a day. She's going to be like, you know what, all that nice time I spent with Tristan, he showed his true colors tonight. That's who he really is.
Right.
You're going to, you're going to make that lasting bad impression. Right. I always like to leave with a lasting good impression. And also, you have to understand that when you want to be a playboy in a certain city, so I live in Bucharest, Romania, girls will ask girls who slept with me, been with me, spent time with me, they go, what's Tristan like? Oh, he's such a nice guy, had such a good time with him. He just, maybe wasn't ready for something serious.
Right. He was a bit of a cheater, but he was always wonderful.
Exactly. What they won't say is,
he's psycho.
Yeah, exactly. He's a psycho. He threw me out of the house. Because there's no advantage to doing that. Now, I live in Eastern Europe, but especially in the Western world, you throw a girl out your house and upset her too much, she might just Me Too your ass. So all these tough guys out there who want to treat women bad, I would advise against it in every single way. Right. And once again, there's not a single, okay, there are, but there aren't many of my exes that I couldn't get back with if I tried.